Christopher is the general manager of the Spirit Spool Association Limited, and he was a former director. He was a former director general of the Coffee Industry Board, where he led the regulation of Jamaica coffee industry and assisted in the protection of Jamaica's premier intellectual property. Christopher is working with the CarIPI project as a mentor to a group of geographical indications, to a group of producers who are producing originating products similar to Jamaica rum and Jamaica jerk within the region. Christopher, welcome.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hollingsworth, Wendy. It's a great honor to be making this presentation on behalf of the Spirit Spool Association and Jamaica Rum Industry. Wendy, I'm going to ask you that in the next presentation, I'm humbled to speak in the wake of somebody like Lorraine, you know, whose leadership in the GI world has been exemplary. And of course, we work together while as in the coffee industry. And of course, today I'm seeing just how wide and tall her reach was and is in the industry. Without further, let me just put up this slideshow. So the Jamaica rum, we've been, my presentation today is about the Jamaica rum GI journey. And the first slide just shows a picture of an ad and pretty much a label of the Dagger Jamaica rum, which was Jamaica rum 50 years ago, and sort of the evolution of Jamaica rum to its more sophisticated presentations today. And of course, part of that journey has been the Jamaica rum GI journey. And the journey of Jamaica rum started over 300 years ago, but and I started there to indicate that a critical part of the establishment of any GI is telling the story of the brand, and one of the criteria is establishing the history and reputation of Jamaica, the Jamaica rum brand. I just want to mention that the first set of our customers of Jamaica rum were plantation owners and slaves, but then the local industry with pirates and the English Navy competing with the Spanish for colonies. So the rum industry supplied them with rum. And of course, there's heavy demand for Jamaica rum. So this is our presentation about the Jamaica rum GI journey, but it's also a presentation about you know, encouraging all Jamaicans to be ambassadors of one of Jamaica's finest products. So I have images of Jamaica rum distillers with slaves, a lot of pictures here showing that this journey has so many exciting facets, and it's a story that has become a critical part, an exciting story, part of a critical brand. Of course, everybody knows Johnny Depp in that very famous movie, but it sort of captures the role of the pirates in the story of Jamaican rum. But I'll just go quickly to point out that the journey to Jamaica, to geographical indications, is a challenging one, particularly if there are differences in tradition and differences in perception of what adds value. The great thing about the Jamaica rum industry is that we had 6 distillery and 4 distillery owners, and these business owners, frequently competitors, then had to sit and agree among themselves about what were those critical raw materials and processes, and what is a common story that made Jamaica rum uniquely Jamaican. And this is critical, as it was the Jamaican-ness which made our rum uniquely different than all other rums produced in the world. And Lorraine made it very clear chronologically the story of the registration of Jamaica Jerk, and they won the gold medal because they were the first to register. The rum industry got a silver medal in the race for registration. But it took 8 years. We started in 2008 to develop the Jamaica Rum GI. That's when that JIPO had conversations with the rum industry. And it took 8 years to develop and agree on a code of practice. And then once that code of practice was agreed at the board of the Spirits Pool, it was sent to JIPO. And of course, you had a period when all the when the period of objection, which Audrey referred to, when objections were allowed, and then you had the final registration that came through in December 2016. I was involved, as was Loreen, in the journey, in the rum journey and the coffee journey, and I have a comparison slide here that I'll just go briefly through. That coffee had 20 licensed dealers, roasters and manufacturers. The rum industry had 6. Both started on the rum industry as early as 2000, on the GI journey as early as 2006. Coffee only sold 5% of the total production in Europe, whereas Jamaica rum sold significant quantities in Europe. And the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee brand is owned by the government of Jamaica, but the product and the individual coffee dealers' brands, they are owned by the private sector owners, because that entire, the ownership of that sector has been privatized. And I know, I tread carefully here because I know the Director General of Jackroy, the Assistant Deputy Director General of Jackroy, Mr. McCook, is right here, who oversees the affairs of coffee. But with regard to rum, the rum industry had a clearly defined brand essence through our GI, and there are significant resources dedicated to the marketing of Jamaica rum. And Jamaica rum GI is now registered in Jamaica and Switzerland. Now, I just want to briefly mention a couple of the rules of Jamaica rum. Jamaica rum, which are enshrined in our code of practice. It's used producing wash with naturally filtered limestone water. So wash is produced using molasses and sugarcane juice or sugar from sugarcane or any one of the above. Yeast of a certain species are used in fermenting agents. And fermentation and distillation must be done in Jamaica. Aged rums are stored in barrels under the guidance of an excise officer. The coloration from rum is derived from wood in barrels, and the minimum age of Jamaica rum is certified by law under the Excise Act. And when an age statement is made, it refers to the youngest rum in the barrel. And once a rum designated with a right to use the rum GI designation is blended with another rum, it immediately loses its GI status. Now, I just wanted to spend some time on that, because one of the issues that is common to the rum industry, to many Jamaican products, but the rum industry, certainly the jerk industry and the Jamaican coffee industry, is the amount of piracy, brand piracy that takes place in the global market. And Jamaica has lost millions of US dollars in each of these industries as a result. So GI, of course, is a tool that we use, as Audrey had indicated in her presentation, not only as an economic tool and a marketing tool, but is also used critically as a tool to protect the intellectual property and minimize the impact of brand misrepresentation. So aging is done in wooden barrels, and this is what smooths out the character and gives us that fine, that you can taste the difference between an unaged rum, such as white overproof rum, versus an aged rum, like an 8-year-old, or one of the aged rums that you see on the shelf. And that is largely achieved by aging and fine and excellent craftsmanship by our blenders. Water is critical to the quality of Jamaica rum. And, you know, sometimes, even if you use, it is almost impossible for one distillery to duplicate the characteristics of the rum of another distillery. And a rum master can tell the difference, can always tell which distillery produced the rum and the market is. Of course, sugar cane, the quality of cane and the quality of molasses determines the quality of the rum. And some of our rums are actually used, the majority of Jamaican rums are used producing cane juice, but some are used producing molasses. The majority of the rums are used, are produced using molasses, but some of them are used, some of the marks are produced using cane juice. And there you go. A picture on the left is the picture of the molasses, and the picture of the right is an example of a wash that was done using sugarcane juice only. And of course, some marks, and a mark is defined as a batch of rum that has a unique taste profile or organoleptic profile. It can be used producing, as I mentioned before, sugarcane juice, molasses, a blend of them, or any other similar sugar source from the sugarcane plant. Critical. I like these slides because there are a lot of pictures, so it's easy to follow. Jamaica rum must be fermented in Jamaica, and there's a designated region within which the fermentation takes place. It must be distilled within Jamaica, and certainly within that region, and that's within the region of the limestone aquifers. There are critical ingredients for success of a Jamaica rum GI, and let me just go through these quickly. The certifying committee for the local GI is made up of representatives of different producers, and in the case, so there's a producer quality committee. And each mark, as I explained to you, a mark is a unique batch of Jamaica rum, which has a designated taste profile. It has to be certified annually using both organoleptic and GI spectrometer readings. And the Spirits Pool Association is the trade association of all rum distilleries, and each mark is registered with the Spirits Pool. There's a database of spectrometer readings, and each mark has a chemical signature. And there must be extensive promotion and marketing of the GI and the logo. This is a critical success factor, because if your clients don't know what to look for, then they won't be aware enough to look for the GI logo. And in our future marketing campaigns that we're planning, the Jamaica rum industry will have a lot to communicate to every Jamaican customer and every Jamaican person who we want to be a rum ambassador, even if you're not a rum drinker. Just like we hope you're all coffee ambassadors and jerk ambassadors. And the reason for this is the Jamaica GI logo says that this product is made in Jamaica by specific rules as a product of quality. And of course, establishing the history and reputation of the product is critical. And we're finding in pursuing your full EU registration, we have had to be working together to producing a document on Jamaica rum on the history and reputation of Jamaica rum, which we sure will be made available to the public in a relatively short space of time. Just quickly, infringements must be aggressively contested because if they are not, then brand pirates will take advantage of the Jamaican brand. Many of these cases can cost multiple millions of US dollars, and the persons from I know Lorraine, Ms. Walker, who did a presentation before, and Mr. McCook, who is here from Jack Rock, can attest that several of these cases where people attempted to rip off the brand cost a lot of US dollars to protect. Frequently, this intellectual property protection works side by side with trademark registration, but in Europe, you don't. You can have GI protection and not trademark protection, and the GI protection is unique and works separately, but both of them can also work together. So. Let me just move swiftly to the other. So this is an example of a couple of current products of the Jamaica rum industry, of which many of us will be quite familiar. And at this point in time, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.